Hey, this is Kim Bellissimo. Let me just start my other recording.
Hey, this is Kim Bellissimo.
Hold on. Let's see.
Hey, these roses like our thorns.
Hold on one second. Save the camera. Hold on.
Like our
Okay. I have all these. Welcome to, let me just start my Instagram. Welcome to setting our intentions, especially after this new moon. Last night I had the new moon magic and we worked our intentions. So today what we're doing is we are doing EnergyWorks. And this is the third series, part series of EnergyWorks. And EnergyWorks is a method of moving your energy to change and transform your life. So today what we're going to be working on is we are going to be working on a 3-step process. This is the first part of setting intentions. And then next week, since I have these courses weekly, we're going to be working the next part of setting your intentions and what you really need to know about setting your intentions. And it's actually the perfect time since we had the new moon, because typically that is when we do set our intentions. And then we move into the cycle of the month, the cycle of the moon. And there are certain kind of ebbs and flows in that cycle. But so if you ever want to join Moon Magic, I do it twice a month for new moon and full moon. And today what we are going to look at is a 3-step process. Kind of what is my intention? And the moment you make an intention and set an intention, there is a feedback loop that happens about what shows up that you don't want, because it's like you can be setting intentions and you keep getting the opposite, kind of what you don't want continues to show up. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then that third step is, so what we want, what we don't want. And the third step is really the EnergyWorks process. And that process is connected into the heart, because what the heart does is the heart brings these two opposing sides into relationship. And when it brings it into a relationship, then we're not living and creating in a world of duality, but we are creating in the world of wholeness. And so the first part of the series that we worked, and you can check it out if you go to YouTube, kimbellissimo.com, was awareness. Kind of the first step in EnergyWorks is being aware of your space. And then the second step is our attention, because our attention, where our attention goes, our energy flows. And that determines kind of what we create. And last week we worked setting space, because in order to have your intentions, you have to have the right atmosphere. It's kind of like growing seeds in a garden or in this beautiful atmosphere where it's just right. You have enough sun, you have fertile soil. And in order to have your seeds of your intention grow, you've got to create this atmosphere. And we could be lacking even one thing in our environment. Maybe you don't have enough water to water your intentions, or maybe you don't even have enough fire. There's like 5 elements that you need kind of in your life, in your energy, because we are made of these elements, kind of the water, the fire, earth, the energy of earth, kind of this fertility, the soil. And now the earth, especially in this new moon, it is blooming, it is growing, it is thriving. And the sun, kind of this fire energy, but more the air energy, kind of the air that we're breathing. And as we can see, with this virus, we're having masks on our face. So we're lacking the energy of green, the energy of air, which is one of the elements we need to mix and create this atmosphere so our intentions can grow. So to tell you just a little bit about kind of how I started, I stumbled when I was maybe 15 years old. My aunt, actually, I started hypnosis, self-hypnosis. She taught doctors, medical doctors. She was a nurse. And so she taught me self-hypnosis at 8. So I have all these affirmation cards that I'd be reading every day. And I still have all my affirmation cards. And it's like, I'm an amazing typist, or some of them were really funny. But I never could seem to kind of understand, kind of with all of her information and wisdom, there was certain things that she couldn't create beyond. And when I was 15, I started to teach aerobics. And I had this desire, especially to get out of where I was living. I was really poor growing up, and I didn't even know about college. It's not like it was ever talked about. So when I was turning 16, and I graduated when I was 17, I had this desire for some reason to go to Italy. And so I had posters in my room of Italy. I was thinking about Italy. I would listen to Italian music. It's like I had the feeling of Italy, the vibration of Italy, but there was no way that I could ever go to Italy because we had no money. And I started working when I was 8. And so I got a job teaching at Jane Fonda in San Francisco. And this is when I was like 16. And I kind of interviewed for some job and I got a job in Italy. And so it was more about this feeling of being in that atmosphere, being in that environment. And I got a D in Spanish in high school. So I'm like, how am I ever going to learn Italian since I had a learning disability? But I learned Italian and I was living with Americans, so it was difficult to do, but it was more the feeling. I felt Italy in me. And the feeling of it, it's like I would just speak, it would come out of me. And I wouldn't know even what I was saying sometimes. So it was like I didn't realize I was cussing half the time. Ma che palle. And but it got me to the first kind of step in kind of that vibration. And that was the first time I had that experience of being in this atmosphere, this vibration. And we're going to talk a little bit about that kind of when we set our intentions. So the first step, what is my intention? What do you want to create? And most people that come in my office, that's what I ask them. What's your intention? And when a lot of times they don't even know what their intention is. Sometimes it takes a person a few years to even know what their intention is. Or they may even say their intention or what they think their intention is, but by a year, it's kind of like they clear out their programming and now they get more in their center to truly know what it is that they want. So this question of what my intention is, this is an important question because it's like a target, kind of aiming at a target. Because the moment I ask that question, what is your intention? You write down your intention. It gets our energy to flow in a certain direction. And so what we're going to do right now is create an intention. So what is your intention? What is it that you want? And you may not know the answer, and that's fine because we're going to be looking at what you don't want. But I want you to think about your intention as we base it on what we know. So we continue to create kind of based on what we know. That's why we continue to create the same old things and we can't really create something new. But we have to use this first part based in our mind because most of us are in our mind. And we're going to be moving into the heart. But I want you to just even make a list. What do I want? Write down your intentions. And then I want you to create a picture. And what I mean by a picture is an image that represents your intention. So an image would be it could be like, for me, it was like the Amalfi Coast, that beautiful, I never saw it. I did see it, but I saw it in a poster, kind of this image that kind of got me to respond, to have a reaction, a body's response. That's a picture. It's like we dream in pictures. And when we dream in pictures, our body responds. Our body doesn't know if a picture is real or not real. And so what do we want? So you can create kind of this imagery, this picture, and it could be a color that even represents your intention. Because the picture is like a container, it's like a vase that contains water, it contains energy, it contains a vibration, a feeling. So, what do you want? I want a healthy body. What do you want? I want abundance in my life. So, just state your intention and then choose a color that represents your intention. I'm choosing the color green. And when you choose that color, I want you to imagine that you even put your intention in a diamond. Why I use a diamond is because in using a diamond is like a hologram. It reflects and refracts energy. And I just imagine a diamond out in front of me. I place a color in it, green, and I'm even seeing kind of the color green reflect. You can see that green reflect off that diamond. And let's say that I am whole and healthy. That is my intention. And then a vibration. So a vibration is more about a feeling that you feel love or you feel peace. So this intention is my health, this green energy. I'm feeling peace. It could be a few other things, joy, this peace, this joy. It's like if you can hear the birds singing, it's like this flow that you have in nature. You hear the birds. And just that feeling of what that feels like. Because what's important in creating a picture, it's the language of light. And as soon as we project our picture right out in front of us, what happens is 3 days before it even manifests, people will start to see it. And so this picture, it has energy in it. It's a color. It has information. And the information that you're putting into it is, I have a healthy, thriving body. That's information. And it has this energy of peace and wholeness and wellness. It creates a whole field of energy so that it can start to even exist on its own. And I always place kind of the intention, that diamond, at the edge of my space. I use it at the edge of my space because it's very important in creating anything. The observer always creates the reality. So the process of EnergyWorks is about this movement, kind of moving our energy kind of into this intention. So if you can just close your eyes and drop into your heart, and from your heart is like a projector of light, and start to project the light right out in front of you at the edge of your space into this diamond. And as you project that light, say your intention. And now choose a color that represents your intention. And connect a feeling, kind of like if you could imagine being on the beach or in this tropical kind of feeling and flow. Connect an emotion and a vibration to it, this peace and this ease. And connect your heart to this intention. So you're moving your energy out to it. And that diamond then is like a mirror. What it will do is it will bring in the energy toward you. It's like a mirror, so it reflects the energy back to you to help you activate that intention. So just move inward now and see that diamond. See, my diamond is green. And in that green, I am setting wholeness and health, that vibration and flow, kind of that Hawaii, and the feeling of ease and peace. See this within your heart. This is internal, your internal seed. And now move it and move your attention out to the edge of your space and just look and admire your diamond. And notice the space in between from your heart to out in front of you. This is your target. This is what we're aiming for. So we observe it, and it's important to be an observer because when you're an observer, you can change something in it. If it is in you and you're just vibrating it, then it's very difficult to change something. So you go within, set the intention, project the intention out, admire it, see how beautiful it is, kind of this new reality. So that's the first part. What is my intention? Setting your intention. But the second part of creating an intention, and this is what happens when we set our intention, there is something that happens behind us. And this is what I call our backspace. What is the backspace? You can imagine it like a storage shed. When it's the unconscious, when we do not have access to our energy and our information, when we've had pain in our life or an incident, maybe of trauma that's happened, what has happened is in that moment in time, we got separated from our body, like our energy, our spirit left. And when that happens, that disconnection and separation from the body, kind of, we don't own and occupy those moments. So there is something which I call the backspace, kind of all of the things that we're holding on to, all of the things that are stored and stuck. It's like a closet or a shed filled to the brim or the top. And we need to unload this. If we cannot unload this, our backspace, what it does, it's a feedback loop. It will continue to project right out in front of us in our intention space what we don't want. And it's doing it because it's saying, you need to unload this. And we can use then the energy of stored energy. It's like, what is stored energy? It's like energy stuck in the ground. It's like oil in a well, stored and stuck. But what do you do when you connect into that well of oil? The energy starts to move. Then we use it for cars to move around in, and we use it as fuel. So the backspace is our fuel. The backspace is the key to creating, because if people are saying, well, I keep setting my intention, but I keep getting what I don't want. And so we are grateful for what illuminates in our world. And I'll tell you what our backspace will do. It is such a great feedback loop, because it will even set the people up around us for us to get to look at where we got stuck, where we disassociated, where we got stuck in a time or place, and it will keep reoccurring in our life time and time again until we just observe it, kind of see it, and start to move it. And so by saying hello to what you don't want, now we're getting closer. It's kind of like if my target is right out in front of me, it's kind of like, and what continues to show up, because the backspace is far more powerful kind of in our intention space. And ultimately what happens is we think we're heading to our intention like driving a boat, but the rudder of the boat, it's turning us in all these different directions. So what we want to do, and the key here is this third step. The third step is about the heart. So when we are connected to the heart, what the heart is about, it's about creating a relationship with what we want, creating a relationship with what we don't want. By being heart focused, what that does is it creates this relationship. It creates kind of the infinity loop, I call it, like a field, a wave of energy that connects the opposites. Because most people live in their mind. And when you live in your mind, what happens is you see this world in duality. You see what I want, what I don't want. But the key of where we want to be is right here, the diamond of the heart. We want to be in the diamond of the heart, because if we're on one space, if I'm in my intention, then I'm going to get a lot of what I don't want, which is good, because I am releasing fuel, I'm getting more energy, and I'm redirecting it. But when we focus within, now it starts to unify what we want, what we don't want. And so just focus for a moment, being inward. And as you focus within your heart, connect behind you to your backspace, to that storage shed. And just, you don't even have to know what that is, but just being connected to it. This is where most people resist it. I don't want to be negative. It's not about being negative. It's about connecting like to coal, to fuel. And by connecting to it and opening the heart, now we can start to redirect it as this wave of energy moves to our intention, and then it moves back into the heart, kind of moves like a wave in and out, this flow. From your heart, this is where we truly create our intentions from. So I want you to ask the heart what it wants to create. The mind knows kind of what it wants to create, and we always have to go with the mind first because that's how we create. Now, ask the heart without knowing the answer. Heart, what do you want to create? What is your intention? And just by asking that, place your attention on the heart. When you place your attention in the heart, it's like a light shining right on it. What you're doing is you are giving your heart space, you're giving it attention. And most of us never give our heart attention. And by creating this space, this field, and this placement, automatically the edges of your space, what I mean by edge is what you want, what you don't want, start to come in and unify in the heart. And just start to notice kind of that light in the heart and ask the heart what color it wants to set. So my mind created green. When I ask my heart what color it is like a magenta. Kind of, it was pink, then there was some purple in it, and it was a magenta. Just start to see what color it wants to set. And now tune into the vibration. The vibration is an emotion, kind of a feeling. And you can see it even like a wave energy. The heart is brilliant at tuning into wave energy. It's like if there's choppy waves, that's fear and anxiety. If you've ever talked to somebody on the phone and you could feel the choppy wave. But when the heart is open and when you're opening to its wisdom, it's a smooth, beautiful wave. And just feel, now there's a lot of blue that just came in. That blue, that spirit is starting to come through, and I can see it on people. Their spirit is starting to come back. When you open your heart, you make the environment safe for your spirit and the body to be in complete connection, communication, and co-creation. And allow that wave to move out in all directions of peace, of love, whatever answer you got. And if you didn't get an answer, just see the wave and how it flows and moves. This is where there's no thought. And you tune into the heart as kind of this energy moves out. And as it moves out, it's moving your intention out into the world. Move it to the edge kind of the bubble. And when you open your heart, it pulls your intention in. It magnetizes it and just brings it in like a magnet. And now just allow the heart to move the intention kind of through your home and through even maybe the city that you live in. And allow the heart to even bring more of that energy back and feel the energy return, filling you up. And now just allow that energy to move up to source, up to the field. And as that wave moves to the field, feel the energy return, that light source. And that light source, you can fill your container, your bubble, filling up your heart, filling up with that consciousness and light. And as you move kind of the energy even down, especially in this time, because our intentions are created in these lower chakras at this time, especially in the lower belly, that vibration of that power in the body, the sun in the body, just feel the energy moving into the earth and that renewal of energy moving up and into the heart. In order for you to have your intention, you have to move energy. And so the first 3 steps that we did in order to set your intention, and next time we're going to work the next 3 steps, is the first part is, what is my intention? And if you don't know your intention, always ask what I don't want. What is it that I don't want? And by knowing what you don't want, you can go to the opposite side. So what is my intention? Move into your heart and focus on the seed of your intention in the heart. Set it at a color, set it at a vibration. That vibration can be love, peace. Set it at, a picture. A picture is like a container, an image that represents to the body kind of how it could be calm and relaxed. For me, when I was 15, it was Italy, like the Amalfi Coast. And then, of course, I went to the Amalfi Coast so many times. So this beautiful kind of picture that represents your intention. And then you move your intention out at the edge of your space is the second step in a diamond. And that way you become the observer of your intention. This way you are separate from it like a movie. You can make changes, you can adjust. And by looking at it out in front of you, what happens is the body starts to respond to it as if it is real. And by that body's response, it creates a reality. And not only that, other people start to match it. And they will see the intention even before it gets created. And so you have this practice of moving inward, moving outward. And then the second step is, what's in my backspace? Kind of everything in your life that where you're stuck, what you haven't looked at, what's unconscious will start to light up and illuminate. And when it does, now we have access to it. We thank it. We are happy because now we've got more fuel in order to create with. And by just looking at it in itself, it starts to change and transform. And then by moving back into the heart, creating that diamond of the heart, what happens is the last step is we ask the heart, what do you want to create? It will unify what we want, what we don't want, and it will make it whole. By asking the diamond of the heart what it wants to create, it always creates in wholeness as opposed to duality. By being in this wholeness, then we can just not even know what the answer is, just ask the question. And by asking that question, being within, we can start to allow that wave energy of the infinity loop to move out, to move in. And so set your intention today. And next week, we're going to be working that second part of your intention. And for the other EnergyWorks courses, go to my YouTube channel. There are 2 courses on awareness and attention and space. And then that second course is about setting space that will create the atmosphere around you in order to create the intentions that you can be vibrating in this time. And I have to say that the more that you can there were so many miracles that showed up yesterday, and it was because my clients started closing the doors to these old realities. And when you can close that door, you can move through the portal of the heart to create something entirely new. So from my heart to your heart, so much love to all of you. And join me. I've got another course on Sunday. It's not a course, it's actually how we end is how we begin. And the more we can confront kind of ending, something new can begin. And we're talking about death. And that doesn't mean that we are talking about, dying, but in a way, when we can end the parts of our lives that we don't want, new shape can take form. And then join me for Nature Connected with Dexter, which he's over here sleeping. So much love to you, and there is a donate button if you like. So take care. Thank you.